Ever feel like, you're running a financial marathon,
Mm.
but you're stuck in the same exact spot?
Yeah, like you're putting in the work.
Totally. You're working hard.
But the money situation, it's just like not budging.
It's not budging. You are definitely not alone if this is you.
Today, we are diving deep.
We are diving deep into a fascinating perspective
Yeah.
and using ancient wisdom to kind of unpack this whole thing.
We're talking traditional Chinese medicine.
TCM.
TCM.
Okay, so get this. We're going deep into the connection between, wait for it, your gut health
Oh, interesting.
and your financial well-being.
I am intrigued.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah.
But seriously, TCM has been exploring this link for centuries.
Right. That's right. Centuries. And you know what I think is so cool about it? TCM views the body as a system. Everything's connected. And every element influences another. So if one thing is out of whack, it throws off the whole system.
Okay, I'm hooked. But let's back up a bit. For those of us who didn't go to TCM school, break down these elements. Is this like we're talking periodic table here?
Okay, not quite the periodic table. Think more like fire, earth, water, you know?
Oh, they got it.
But in TCM, these elements, they represent way more than just like the natural world, right?
Yeah.
Each one lines up with certain organs, emotions, and even parts of our lives. Like, you guessed it, our finances.
So it's like this whole different way of understanding how our bodies and our minds connect to like everything around us.
Got it. And specifically when we're talking about finances, the big one is the metal element.
Metal. So are we talking like ironclad budgets and steel-nerved investments? Is that the connection?
Not exactly, although I like the way you think. Okay, so think of the metal element more like it governs boundaries and receiving and releasing. It's about setting limits, being open to receiving abundance, good things, opportunities. And also, just as important, letting go of anything that's not serving you, like especially those thoughts we all have about money that just aren't true.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
So we said financial goals. Those are like boundaries. We invest to hopefully receive a return. And ditching that whole scarcity mindset. That's releasing those mental blocks.
You're getting it. And here's where it gets really interesting. In TCM, the metal element, it's also linked to specific organs, mainly the lungs and the large intestine. And these guys, they play a bigger role in how we handle resources. And I don't just mean money than you might think.
Wait, hold on. The lungs, I thought we were talking money, not breathing exercises.
We are. But trust me on this. In TCM, the lungs are responsible for way more than just oxygen. They're seen as the main gateway for qi.
Qi, like our internal energy.
Exactly, that life force energy that flows through everything.
Okay, so qi is like our internal energy system. And the lungs are kind of like the intake valve.
You got it. And just like, we need a good flow of air to be healthy, that flow of qi, it's super important. For attracting abundance, for being open to opportunities. And yeah, for overall well-being. And that includes, you guessed it, financial well-being.
So what you're saying is, if our lungs aren't working as well as they could be, it could actually be messing with our ability to like attract opportunities in abundance.
Think of it this way.
That's wild.
It's all connected.
Okay, but how do parasites fit into all of this?
Ah, yes. Those unwelcome guests. Here's the thing. Parasites, they can really throw a wrench in the works.
Okay, so they're messing with our energy.
They disrupt that balance.
Got it.
That delicate balance of our internal energy.
Right.
Creating blockages, stagnation,
Like an energetic traffic jam?
Exactly.
Right.
And guess what their favorite hangout spot is?
Let me guess. The lungs and large intestine are middle element powerhouses.
Bingo. You see it, right?
I'm starting to, yeah.
So we've talked about the lungs, the intake of qi.
Right, the lungs are like, come on in, chi.
Exactly. But the large intestine, that's about letting go.
Okay, so the large intestine is like the ultimate Marie Kondo. Holding on to things that don't spark joy. Out they go.
Well, in a way, yes, but we're going beyond the physical here. It's also about releasing energetic waste. Things like, old beliefs.
Like those thoughts that we're not good with money or we'll never be able to afford something nice.
Exactly. Those are the ones. Or past financial mistakes that we just can't seem to let go of.
Oh, those are the worst. They can really hang around. So those thoughts, those are like energetic toxins, right?
Think of it that way, yeah.
Clogging up the system. So instead of this like free-flowing river of abundance, it's more like
a sluggish stream.
yeah, full of all that mental gunk.
And just like when your digestion is off, you don't feel great, right?
Right.
Well, in TCM, that sluggish, large intestine, It can lead to stagnation, fear, even financial blockages.
Okay, so this is where those parasites really do their damage, right? They're not just messing with our chi intake.
Oh no, it's a double whammy.
They're also screwing with our ability to let go, to release all that stuff holding us back.
They're like, let's make things even harder, shall we?
Ugh, those little... So it's like this 1-2 punch. Parasites weaken our metal element, and that affects both our ability to draw in abundance and to release those old patterns.
It's like they're trying to keep us financially stuck, but the good news is,
There's good news. I like where this is going. It can't just be doom and gloom, right? We've got to be able to do something about this.
you're absolutely right. TCM, it's all about giving us tools and practices to get things back in balance, to restore that harmony.
So give it to me straight. What's the TCM toolkit for, like, tackling these financial freeloaders? Both the ones in our gut and, in our heads.
Well, usually step one is addressing those parasites directly.
Show those little guys the door.
Exactly. A TCM practitioner might recommend like specific herbal formulas tailored to you and what's going on to help clear them out.
Okay, so no magic, one-size-fits-all parasite-busting smoothie then.
Not quite. It's about finding what really works for your body. But besides kicking out those parasites, we want to make sure they don't come back for a second round. Make it an environment where they just won't thrive.
So strengthen our defenses.
You got it. And diet is huge for this.
What we eat matters. Shocking.
It really does. Think real food. Lots of veggies, fiber, fermented foods, stuff that gets your gut microbiome in tip-top shape.
Right, because a healthy gut, way less appealing to those parasites. But what about those lungs? How do we, like, boost our qi intake and help out that metal element?
That's where things like breath work and qigong can be amazing.
Okay, so we're talking about actually working with our breath.
Exactly. It's powerful stuff that can really help get that qi flowing through your entire system, especially those pathways connected to your lungs and the metal element.
Okay, I can get behind that. I can already feel myself breathing a little deeper just thinking about it. But we can't forget about the mental and emotional side of things. We talked about those limiting beliefs, those money blocks. How do we tackle those from a TCM perspective?
Remember how we talked about the large intestine being in charge of releasing more than just physical stuff? TCM, it sees our thoughts and beliefs in a similar way. Like those negative scripts that play in our heads, especially when it comes to money, they can get just as stuck as a physical toxin.
So how do we clean out those mental cobwebs?
Awareness is key. First, just notice those thoughts when they pop up, especially around money. Don't judge them, just see them for what they are.
Like become a thought detective.
You got it. And then we can start to challenge them. Instead of playing those old tapes, we can start to replace them with thoughts that actually empower us. Affirmations can be really helpful for this.
So things like, I am worthy of abundance, or I attract opportunities.
Exactly. It's like you're hitting the reset button on those old thought patterns, and then you start rewiring your brain for financial success.
Love it. Reprogramming our brains for abundance.
And don't forget the metal element. It's all about boundaries, right? So while you're doing this internal work, it's important to set healthy boundaries out in the real world too, especially with your finances.
What would that look like, in real life? Like the healthy financial boundary?
It could be as simple as like saying no to lending money to that friend who never seems to pay you back. Or maybe it's finally having that maybe slightly uncomfortable conversation about money with your partner. It's about knowing your worth and valuing your resources, your time, your energy.
It's about knowing you deserve to be treated well. And that includes financial well-being.
100%. Creating a space, both inside and out, where abundance can actually flow.
This has been amazing. I feel like I have a whole new perspective on, well, everything. My health, my finances. But if I'm hearing you right, the big takeaway is we have way more power than we think to turn things around.
Absolutely. TCM, it's all about reminding us that we're not just a bunch of separate parts, it's all connected. And once we understand those connections, well, that's where the magic happens.
So for everyone listening who's ready to say see ya to those financial freeloaders and step into their power, what's one thing they can do today?
Take a deep breath. I'm serious. Close your eyes for a sec. Focus on that breath. And imagine you're drawing in this vibrant, abundant energy with each inhale. It seems so small, but that connection to your breath, that's connecting with your metal element, and that shift in energy, that's where it all starts.
I love that. Deep breaths and abundant thoughts, everybody. Join us next time when we'll dive into a brand new topic. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.